Hey there, welcome back to the virtual table. This, playing Might and Magic 7 has just launched a whole nostalgia trip for me. I've been playing all the nostalgia games. There's a few of them. I want music, I just don't want it that loud. It's really loud in my earbuds. But anyways, this game is Imperialism 2, Age of Exploration. It's made by Strategic Simulations, and you can get it at GOG, G-O-G, GOG Galaxy. It is in the top 5 of all time games. It is a fantastic game, and even now it still is a fantastic game. Every board game I buy, I hope for the mechanics that are in this game. And every video game I buy, I long for the mechanics that are in this game. This game has so much perfection, it's not even funny. Whoever made this, bravo. That's all I have to say. I don't know who made it, I don't know who's behind it. Imperialism 1 was also good, but Imperialism 2 took everything from 1 and just made it better. Clearly the game's about imperialism, so it's about the discovery of the new world and things of that nature, but the way it's presented in this is so unique, and I don't know why no other game has been able to capture this. Europa Universalis does a wonderful job, but its focus is very different. This game is about resources and power, and it's not quite, the conflict in this game is not as direct, although it does exist. So, before we dive in to the game, this actually comes in the game. It's in the file section, and basically, it's the chart of everything. So, the best way I can put it is you start the game with, of course, level 1 everything. And some of these, like even the Aqua Braziers, I'm not even sure I can make those at level 1. We'll check. But, so for light infantry regiments, you got, they progressively get better and better. And you're going to research technology to unlock these various units that you see. Some of these we will start the game with being able to produce. And if we produce them, you can see it costs us a population, a peasant, if you will, a laborer, and a cloth. And it goes into like what's the firepower rating and blah blah blah, and these all mean something because there is combat in this game. And if we keep going, you can see now it's getting into the artillery and the cavalry and all the different hotkeys, which I don't remember any of this. This game, I don't even know when was it made. There's got to be a wiki for it. 1997. So this is even older than Might and Magic 7. It's about a year before Might and Magic 6. Frog City Software. Excellent. They did Dungeon Keeper, if I remember correctly. I also love that game. Strategic Simulations published it. And I don't know how well it was received, but I absolutely love this game. They exceeded sales goals by 50%. Yeah, I mean, all the power to it. I mean, they gave it 84 of 100. These people are nuts. It's a 10 out of 10 game. Who designed it? I mean, I know it's Frog City Software. I guess it doesn't go... So now Ubisoft owns it, which is why the game's probably going to be dead forever. But, man, I would just love to sit with an Ubisoft person with ideas on how to get an Imperialism 3 out there. But anyways, getting back to this, I'm not going through all the gory details, but I'm just trying to help you to understand the scope. Now, we are going to get into the civilian units, and this is the part I do need to study, because 1997 is a long time ago, and just like with Might and Magic 7, I remember bits and pieces, but I don't remember everything. And this game is no exception. I remember being a master at this game, but now I am just a rusty old fool. But these civilian units are extremely important in the game, you're going to send around an explorer to explore terrain. And I'll get into what that means in a second, but basically you can explore mountains to find, you're trying to find gems. It's no different than the world today, right? We're looking for rare minerals. The builder is used to build your territory, and of course to get your economy going. The engineer is going to build roads to connect to whatever the builder builds. So the builder can build farms and lumber mills and things like that, but unless it's connected by road, you're not transporting the goods. The merchant is used to buy land in other nations. This is an extremely important unit, and we'll get into some of what that means later. The spy is an interesting one. I don't use it as much, but it is used to scout and get information about your enemies. Then, of course, the rail builder is like it's like the same as the engineer, except all he does is build railroads. And of course, it's a different type of unit, and you don't get that until much later because the game starts without the ability to build railroads. Now, like I said, it's very important that we review this because when I show you the game, there's no tooltips. It's too old for tooltips. So this is the tooltips right here. And I'm just trying to explain to you some of the things to look for whenever we get into the game, because that is what would make a modern version of this game so much more fun. I mean, a lot of this information is just easily accessible with tooltips. So anyways, first of all, you have plains. This is worthless territory. So it doesn't do anything for you. And it says the president is in the... Okay, so let's talk about this. We're going to represent Europe. The game has an actual Europe map, but to me that's the least fun. You want to do a random map. So it's going to randomly create a version of Europe. Like it's a randomized version. And all the major countries are going to be there. Holland, France, England, etc. Spain, Portugal. And then there's going to be minor nations like Denmark. Germany's a minor nation at this era. And I can't remember the other ones, but it'll come to me. I think Sweden's a major nation. But there'll be about 5 minor nations. And then there's, I think, 5 or 6 major nations. And we're all competing for power, right? So those minor nations is what we refer to as the Old World. The Old World is our major nations plus the minor nations. And so some resources are going to exist in the Old World, and some resources are going to exist in the New World, which is like the North and South America. So the first thing that comes up is the grain farm. This is only going to be in the Old World, and this is used to feed your people. And then the open range, same deal, Old World, and it's going to be used to feed your people. Grain and meat are interchangeable. You can have all grain and no meat. You can have all meat and no grain. Your people won't suffer. You just need food sources to feed your people. And feeding your people is extremely important, or otherwise you won't be able to get big armies. Next up is wool. And wool's going to be necessary, of course, to produce wool. not to throw a curveball at you there. But the wool will then be used to make more complex goods later. Horse ranges, again, Old World only, and you need those, of course, to build cavalry units. Scrub forests produce timber, and then hardwood forests produces more timber. So hardwood forest is better than scrub. You get more yield from that, but they both produce timber. Then you have sugar plantation, and you're noticing that up until now, none of this was in the New World. The New World will have the forests, and it also has sugarcane and tobacco, right? So that's a New World only item. And then tundra will have fur sometimes. That's what the S means. It's sometimes. And then the cotton plantation is going to produce cotton, of course. Now, what does the sometimes mean? That's where the explorer comes in. You send the explorer to explore that tundra, and they'll report back if they found any fur. So it's a resource that's it's binary. It's there or it's not. And then you send an explorer to discover whether it's there or not. then you can produce spices. Barren Hills produces coal, iron, and copper. And also in the New World, it does the same, but it also could produce silver. The mountains, coal, iron, and copper. In the New World, it can produce the same, but it could also produce gold and gems. Then the desert could produce diamonds. The swamp can produce tin. And anytime you see that S, that means you have to send an explorer. Then the ocean, of course, always produces fish. And here you can see the technology tree, and there's 7 periods in the game. And so you have, like, if you research this tech, then it leads to these 2, and so forth. And then it actually shows you that once you research this one, you know, it has a dependency on other tech. So you need one tech to be able to do another. We won't study it too much, but it has a really nice color coding. Blue, of course, dark blue is navy, light blue is finance, and so forth. So, and then gathering will help you to, like, your farms will yield more better, right? And you can see the tech tree keeps going. There's a lot to the tech tree. And so that's the entire document. So I'm going to leave this open, because we're going to refer to this quite a lot. And now let's jump into the game. So this is the game, and I wish the music wasn't so loud. Now it's not playing at all, but... Okay, maybe that works. It's just these older games, they definitely have sound issues, I guess. Now, anytime you're playing this game, there's a little question mark you can always click on to get... It's like a Wikipedia. It's really good. It gives you all the information you need to play the game. You do have to do a lot of reading, but it's all there. Out of everything here, the only thing we really need to do is start a new game. So, let's talk about a few things. Like I said, I'm rusty, so bear with me. I'm going to be discovering things as if, oh gosh, I totally didn't remember that. If you want to play Europe, this is the option. You click here. If you do play Europe, all of the territory is completely explored. I mean, because everybody's been living there for centuries. So, there are no surprises when you're playing this. And honestly, it's boring. Don't do it. But it does have a mode where if you want to play with a classic old world, you can do it. And I just find this to be much more fun. And you could always just click on this to generate a new map, right? And there's even a seed. I think you can, yeah, because you can enter a generation key. So we could say, hey, let's do YouTube Jeff. And that's what it creates with that key. So actually, that's pretty awesome. Let's try to play this. The color codes should not surprise you too much. Red is England, France, yellow Spain, Sweden, Portugal, and Holland. The minor nations are... Oh, we'll see what the minor nations are later, but you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's 6 minor nations, which is a nice healthy number. Now, what you're looking for here is it gives you a breakdown of the resources, the tiles, if you will. So, England, for example, has 15 grain farms throughout its territory. 5 open range, which is the cattle. 5 hardwood forest, which is better than the scrub forest, but you do have 3 of those. 9 barren hills, which means you could have coal or iron. It's not guaranteed. And then the mountains, same. You could have coal or iron. The fertile hills is sheep. Swamp means you could have tin. And then horse ranches, which are very, very important. I would highly recommend that for your first game that you have at least 1 horse ranch. And I guarantee you one of these, like this one right here, first one I clicked, no horse ranch. Horse ranches make life a little more difficult, but it's not impossible. It's just you got to know the game mechanics a little better. So, what are we going to be doing here? Well, we're going to be building up our economy. researching technology and exploring the new world. And at the same time, we're going to be trading with each other and with these minor nations. So this is one of those games where the minor nations are more important than the major nations. The major nations are like, they're really quote unquote our enemy. We're not going to be at war with them as much, but we're going to be fighting over the minor nations. Like, I want this minor nation, for example, to join me, not you, right? And so I'm not going to be able to get all of the minor nations, but I'm going to try to get at least one or two of them. And we're going to be competing with each other for control of those minor nations. And then at some point, I'm going to just take it over, the minor nations. Once I get an army big enough, I'm just going to declare war, and then it's just mine. And then we're no longer fighting over them. So that's the gist of the game. So how do you do that? And, what makes it any good? Well, it all boils down to how well you're discovering the new world and your economy, right? So, this is a very fair start. What's the weak points to this? There's only 4 swamp. If there's no tin on any of those 4 swamp, you're already at a disadvantage. There's only 3 sheep, so your ability to produce cloth is going to be limited. But that doesn't mean you still can't get cloth, and I just want to stress that. If your nation produced everything very well, you wouldn't have a need to control these minor nations. The minor nations have resources that you want. So does the new world. And so that's what I mean by this game is so perfect. It captures how you're manipulating the old world, but at the same time you're trying to exploit the new. It's a wonderful game. The only thing this game doesn't have is the concept of natives. They just don't exist in this game. It's just, you got new world territory, blah blah blah, but we'll get to that later. The hardwood forest is good. I mean, these are average. The 15 grain farms, very good. So if you come over here, see, we went from 15, and look at that, 17 open range to 5. So Spain is just littered with food. Okay, so that's really good for their population. They got tons of hardwood. They have very few hills and mountains. Their fertile hills are just as low, and they might have tin. More tin than us. If you go to France, you got tons of possible tin, really large amount of barren hills and mountains. The sheep is low, horse ranch is plentiful, hardwood is very low, average food, and so forth. You can see, look, tons of food in Sweden. Hardwood is good, mountains and hills good, fertile swamp is good. Holy crap! Actually, Sweden is. You can see, and they control 7 provinces. They only control 5. They control 6. They control 6. 5 here in Holland. And then 6 in Portugal. You know what? I always like England because that's just my roots. But to be honest, Sweden is the better start here. So we're going to go ahead and choose Sweden. And, difficulty-wise, just do normal. Eventually you can do custom. And just to show you, there are tons and tons and tons and tons of options. All these things are options in the custom mode, but we're just going to do normal, which is what custom 100 is. And so yeah, we're going to use the old world map, and we're going to choose Sweden. I think that's the better start, so let's get going. Okay, so when you play the real Europe map, your capital city is prefixed. You can't change it. It's historical. And so everything's locked down, and then everything's also already explored, like I said. So what we're going to be doing here is we have all these mountains and hills, but I don't know if they have minerals in them or not. I have to explore them. So it's almost like we don't even know our own country. It makes it a lot more fun. And what they're asking us to do right now is they're asking us to pick where our capital city is. Now, it has to have access to a river, which then, has access to an ocean. So I can't pick, for example, right here for my capital city. And you can see a big X. But as I get closer to the ocean, it's letting me pick spots. Now, why is it not letting me pick these? Because there's no food. I need at least 1 food, which is what... let me click on this. So this is saying I can support a healthy population of 1 person, which is horrible. You don't want to do this. I'm generating 1 horse, 3 fish, and 1 sheep. The horse and sheep, of course, are not food. It's the 3 fish. And so what they're basically saying is I can support 1, and I have 3 fish potential that I can build. Now, look at all this cattle over here. So let me click on, let's say this. So now I have a cattle in. So here you can see I got 1 fish, 2 wheat, and a cattle, and now I can produce 4. Now let's move it further. Look at that. I could do 6 and then up to 12. So it's getting better and better, right? And if I go over here, I can do 9 up to 11. And you can see I'm generating a lot of food. Now I can, like I said, I can go along the river here. And then here, I'm only doing 3 and 2. But here's the deal. Everything you see highlighted, these 2 swamp spots will actually be automatically explored. But then it ends here, because this is another country. That blue is my border. So I can't go down here. This is whatever minor country this is. So, but that's all the further I can go, and that, of course, can only sustain 2 people, but I get hardwood. So, you know, if I keep going along, that sustains 3. I got, right here, I can support a population of 10, which is really good. That's actually probably one of the better ones. And then this one, I can support less population, but I would auto-explore. And then, see, now all this farm here, I can't produce a city because there's no river. There's no access to the ocean. And again, 5, 6. You can play around a bit. This one, very low population, but we produce 5 wood. That would make a very challenging game. To be quite honest, you want to start off with a max population as possible, and you want this number to be as high as possible. I think this is one of the best starts. Like this one has a 12 max, but this is lower. Now, what other considerations do you want? Well, where your port is where your city is, and your ships are going to be coming in and out of the port. So to get to the new world, you either got to go east or west off the map. So having a port over here, for example, gets you that much closer to the western edge of the map. It's something to consider. It's not a major factor. One of the things with building down here is what am I going to have access to if I start building roads, right? I can get access to any minerals that I find here, some sheep over here, lots of farms, right? Some wood over here, but where's my horses, right? The horses are all the way on the other end of my country. So if I start here, I will at least have access to horses early game and all the cattle, and I won't have access to the farms that are down here, but I'll at least have access to some. And then, what about the forest? Well, there's some nice hardwoods over here. And all that would be close to something up here. And actually, look at this. 1114. That's an even better start. Right there. 1114 is better than 1012. So I really was considering this, but this is the better start. And it puts us closer to the horses. So we're going to go ahead and choose this, and now the game has started. So our capital is here, and we have civilian units, 3 of them. We have an explorer, and it tells you that there's 9 mountains yet to be explored, and these are the possible resources you can find in a mountain. Now understand though, that the gold and the gems can only be found in the new world. So in the old world, hodgepodge. We're not going to discover those, but we could still find coal, copper, or iron here. Then with the hills, I have 13 unexplored. Same deal, we're not going to find silver until the new world. We have 11 swamp, so we can possibly discover tin. And there's no desert in Sweden, and of course that has a possibility of diamonds. Again, you can always click on your question mark, and it'll give you, things to do. And it's actually very helpful here. So first of all, peaceful takeovers and development. You can use your diplomatic and trading skills and your civilian workers to gain control of minor nations and tribes Oh, that's right, there are tribes in the New World. I apologize. Without the need for invasion. Work performed by your civilian units in minor nations increases the production of resources, and so forth. So then if we go back, you know, you can purchase land in other nations. The bigger one is purchasing land in the New World. That's what you really want to do. And you can see there's a lot of different briefings we can do here. So they go about what is each commodity used for, etc., etc., etc. There's a lot you can review. So I can click on this, and it can show me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What it did is it went through all 9 of these mountains. So it's just letting me know there's 9 mountains. There's my 13. And then my swamps are these. And so forth. Now, we also have minor nations that we're right next to. And you can see this looks like it's Italy because it's got Florence. And Florence has something, an iron ore built here. So they're producing iron ore right now. And we'll get into some of that, but this might be a prime target for us to influence because we're connected to them. So maybe we want a good trade relationship with them. And also, because we're connected with them, we might be able to trade via roads. If you trade via the sea, your ships have a trade capacity to them. And if your ships have a trade capacity to them, they can only trade so many goods around a turn. So having a land transport is infinite. As long as your roads are there, you can infinitely transport things. And so that is, ideally, it's better. Okay, so I think I beat to death this as much. So your explorer here, this guy, can also explore in the minor nations. Like, we can explore all of their swamps, and what we're doing is we're trying to discover new resources in those minor nations. And so that's a possibility as well. Now, what other characters do we have? We have the engineer who can build roads, ports, and forts. Now, a port is like this right here. And of course, the port is helping us to have a place to dock our ships. And if you have roads connected to the port, and those roads eventually connect to your capital, then of course it could be used for transporting goods. Forts, of course, are used for protecting your land and your areas, and we'll get into that much later in the game. It's not something we need right now. And then you have your builder, and you can see he can improve the output of any of these goods right now. So if I want to build this hardwood forest, all I have to do is click on it, and he'll build it. It doesn't cost me anything. The cost was producing the unit, which we start the game with 1 unit. And then you can see we have these cows developed, and these fields developed. If I want to produce another ranch, or if I want to produce the horses, right? I can do this. And so that's how we move forward. And then what did I do? I right-clicked. So right-clicking does work. So I right-clicked on a hardwood forest. It at least gave me a tooltip, if you will. So what I clicked on didn't give me some basic information about the hardwood forest. Then you have a province borders, and it gives you a production summary. And you can see the barren hills, etc. Okay, so if this were the entire game, it's probably not that exciting, but there's so much more. You have all these tabs along the bottom. So let's start with the left one. Okay, that was rather loud, wasn't it? At least for me it was. Preferences. We're going to just take the sound effects down too. That was too low. Alright. Okay. So getting back to this. So we have 9 trade potential in our network. But one of our ships we're going to send to explore the new world. So we're going to drop our trade. And every ship has 3 trade attached to it. And we'll get into how you can figure that out in a second. I have 3 ships right now, each of them contributing 3 trade. But one of them for sure is going to leave port. So then we'll drop to 6 trade. Right now, we're not trading anything. But just letting you know there's a possibility. Here, you can see there's a green bar. And the green bar means this is being traded by land transport. That's what the green stands for. You'll see blue if it's coming from the Navy. And sometimes you may have more things that you're able to transport than you actually have the ability to transport. And you can use these little sliders to choose which resources you're actually going to spend your trading slots for. But since everything's by land, you just get 100%. So we're getting 6 cow, 4 fish, and 4 wheat. So you can always click on a governor and he'll control the screen. But what fun is that? Don't do that. But it is cool. And one of the things you can do is you can click on the governor and he'll show you what he would do. And then you can click on him again to shut him off and then say, oh, I agree with him or I don't. Like, you could do that. Okay, moving on to the industry. These are all the resources in the game, and you can see there's quite a few. And right now, I have 4 peasants. They're called peasant laborers, and you can see there's different types of workers. There's masters, journeymen, and apprentices. And right now, I have 4 peasant laborers, and they are producing 4 labor. So labor, there's a unit of labor here, and there's 4 of it. My population is I have 3 army, my 4 workers, and my 3 ships. And then you can see the food that's required is 3, 4, and 3, respectively. Now this could change because some units might require more than 1 food, but we're not there yet. And this one, computer control, is not available for this. You don't want that. So what it's also given you is your food sources again. So it's telling you need 5 food, right? Because right here, 4 plus 3 is 7, plus 3 is 10. We need 10 total. So it's saying I need 5 grain, I'm transporting 4. I need 5 meat, but I'm transporting 10. So, long story short, we have more food than we actually need. So, if I were to spend 2 cloth, I can produce another worker. And let's see, the game's gonna let me do that. In fact, I can spend all my cloth to produce 2 more workers. And this is a turn-based game, so when I hit end turn, by next turn, I'll have 2 more peasants, and I'll be up to 6. Now remember, we said that we can support a population of 11. Well, this is where this is coming from. So I have a population of, and I think it said we could do a, let's see, we're starting with a population of, well, we're starting with 10. We got 4, 3, and 3. So I would be able to increase it by doing this, is what I'm trying to get at. Now, labor value, it's showing you that 1 peasant is 1 unit of labor, but if you have a journeyman, you get 6 units of labor for 1 journeyman, and then 4 and 8, respectively, for the apprentice and the master. So the skilled laborers are able to do more work, and so you'll be able to do more things, if you will. Now, this is recruiting. This does not require labor to do. And when you're training, you're actually taking like a peasant and turning it into an apprentice, right? But you need to have, see, it says no technology. So we have to research the technology to have apprentices. I mean, we're very rudimentary at this point in the game. So I highly recommend that if your economy can handle it, the game will give you a warning if you can't. So you could do the math yourself, but right here you can see I'm producing 10 food. But my meat, well, this is the need, right? I need 5, but I'm transporting 10. And so here I need 5, but I'm only transporting 4, and I'm basically supplementing it with 1 of my meat. But I can produce 2 more units, and the game's not squawking at me, because I can afford to have more population. And that is the product of picking my capital at a really lucrative spot. If you pick that spot that only lets you have 3 population, you're really screwed right now. You can't do any of this. I mean, you can, but you're going to run out of food. And here's your numbers, right? This is your grain. And they do give you a surplus, so you could operate at a deficit for a few rounds, and you're going to have to, like, obtain a new food source quickly. Now, it is possible that you could choose, hey, I'm going to build all this hardwood resources, right? And now you're producing a bunch of hardwood timber, and then you're going to use your roads and things like that to connect to the food later. That's viable. Totally viable. You just got to know what you're doing. Okay, so that's this screen here, and this screen actually has 3 parts to it. We're looking at the display labor. Now this is our units one. So here we could buy a civilian unit. That shows you the cost, right? One of the units we do want to eventually buy is we want to buy the guy who can purchase, the merchant. Maybe another explorer wouldn't hurt. Now, explorer costs 3 paper, and we have 5, so we could afford to build one. We have $12,000, so when you play the harder difficulties, you just start with less money. The year is 1502, by the way, and so we can hire another engineer, another builder, another explorer. So ultimately, what you want to do is you want to have one more of these 2. The engineer, maybe you want another one of those, but that's lower priority. And then you also want one of these guys, a merchant. You want to be able to buy land. These are military units. And if I build a military unit, it's going to take away one of my peasant laborers. So the peasant laborers gets converted into a military unit. And then, of course, this one requires horses, which you do start the game with some. And, of course, I'm burning all my fabric to get more peasants. We're not going to worry about military at the moment. If I want to build another ship, you can see the cost is here. It's pretty hefty at the start of the game. They do, as long as I didn't burn this, because you can see I'm burning it building these 2. As long as I didn't burn the fabric, you could build another ship. It is totally an option. So anyways, that's what this screen is. This is how you build your military and your special units. I actually do want to build one of these. What's the right strategy? Which one do you build first? I don't remember. I actually think I'm going to go with the Explorer, so we're going to do that. And then you can see I don't have enough paper to build another one. So we're going to have to figure out how to get more paper. And then that brings us to... Sorry, I was just checking something here. The final screen. This is our production. So how do we use this labor? Well, I have 6 wool right now. If I want to build some more fabric, I can just do that. And that just used 2 of my labor. Did you see that? So why did it use 2 labor? Well, because I think it's because it's 2 resources. I don't know. I think I'm pretty sure I can click on this and figure out, like, on the right side of the screen. Everyone in your population eats 1 grain or 1 meat. Unless you have huge stockpiles in your warehouse, it's important to keep your level of food transport greater than or equal to your food consumption. Anyways, so that just requires 2 labor, apparently. Oh, right here, it tells you. See, it says 2 labor right here in the top right. 2 labor plus 2 wool makes 1 fabric. It's just the cost. And here it's 2 labor plus 2 timber makes 1 lumber. And in here we can make a paper. And that's all my labor spent. Now, every year you can change this. If you don't change it, they're going to keep producing like this until you run out of resources. And then, of course, it has to stop. But right now, that's what we're going to do. We're going to produce a fabric to get back some of the fabric we're losing, and also a paper because I want to hire another builder. Okay, so that's this screen. This screen is a very important production screen. Next up is the trade orders. So one thing I can do is I can say, hey, I just want to buy a paper, and there's 2 available in the warehouse. That means I could sell paper, so I can offer it or I can buy it. So that's what these options are. And then I don't really want to sell any of my resources at the moment, but if I'm producing hardwood at the start of the game, that might be something worth selling, because it's a nice way to get some money. And these ones, of course, are worth more money than the raw resources. Currently, I don't produce any of these 3, so I may want to buy some. Now, there's another reason why you want to buy resources. If I buy, let's say, timber from Italy, one of the minor nations, then my relationship with Italy is going to improve. So that's another gotcha here. Sometimes you're going to buy resources, not because you need them, but because you're trying to improve your relationship with them. And that's extremely important. Okay, so that's the trade menu. And then the next one, and remember, your trade is limited by your ships. So if I'm going to be sending 1 ship out and I'm going to have a trade of 6, that means I can only buy 6 units worth of stuff. Alright, the diplomacy screen is probably the most confusing, but it's actually a brilliant screen once you understand it. And of course I don't remember everything, so I'm not going to understand it. But this is where the subtlety of things can really give you the edge, and it's the difference between an amateur and an expert at this game. As you can tell, we are Sweden. We had Italy next to us, so their best relationship right now is with Holland. Then you have Denmark, who's favoring Portugal. Scotland for France. Switzerland is favoring us. And then Ireland for England. And this is pretty normal. And then Germany's another one. They're favoring Holland. And I think Holland right now has 2 favoring them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6. So England has 1. Sweden, France, Portugal. Spain has nobody. So Spain will try to steal one from us. This best relationship thing is very fickle at this stage of the game. Don't trust it, or don't... think of it as like you're asking a person out on a date. Don't take this as rejection. Everything's still on the table. You haven't been told no yet. Okay, so we're on the information tab. That's precisely what we're doing, is we're looking at information, and it's telling us what the neutral states are, and then as the new world becomes available, it'll fill in as well. So on this information tab, we're looking at the political map. Then there's the treaties map. So, you know, who are we at peace with, who are we at war with, etc., etc. And if you look at us, we have embassies in all the major nations. And that's it. And right now, our production rating and strength rating are both good. This is relative to the other major powers. So it's always a relative thing. So if you see good, that means, well, we're relatively good. In fact, and then you can just click on the other major powers to see how they are. They are also good. I mean, we're all even right now. I don't think there's any advantage other than the territory you start with. Next up is the foreign grants. Now, this is a very important one as you get more advanced in the game. You could play this game without understanding this, but understanding this is what makes you good at the game. I promise you. You have to understand this. So right now, of course, our relationship with ourselves is excellent. With everybody else, it's normal. And this is with the major powers. Now, next we have is the trade map key. So we have potential exports that we could be exporting, and other nations could be buying from us, and we can buy from other major nations. As much as I keep telling you they're your enemy, they could still be your friends too. You don't have to be enemies with every major nation on the map. In fact, you may want to buy goods from them. So it's just that the minor nations are your preferred relationships right now. Because the major nations are never going to sell you land or anything like that. The minor nations will. So that's why you want those minor nations. So the subsidies are things you can do to get these nations. So let's say Italy is selling. Well, actually, you can see it right here. This is why you want to do this. So I'm clicking on Italy. They're selling wool, timber, and iron ore. And we know this because remember I saw their little iron ore mine up in the mountain? I want them to sell that iron ore to me. So how do I do that? Well, what I do is I give them a subsidy. And so what that is that I'm going to pay them not only for the iron ore, but I'm going to pay them an extra 5%. And so basically I'm becoming the highest bidder. And so what I'm doing is I'm tempting Italy to sell only to me. Okay, does that make sense? It'll make more sense as we start playing, but that's a very important thing to understand is I want to pick certain minor nations and make them mine, right? And the way you do that is you offer them subsidies because you basically offer to pay them more than the other major nations for the same resources. Now, I'm choosing Italy just because they're next to me, and I don't want another major nation to have territory next to my key provinces, because if I end up at war with them, that could be problematic. It just so happens that Italy actually has really nice resources. But let's look at the other ones. So Denmark has copper. If you'll notice, Italy does not. So, I might want a relationship with Denmark. Who was it that already favors us? I think it was, Switzerland has iron ore. And only iron ore at the moment. So, maybe I want to buy iron ore from them, and then I'll buy sheep from Italy, right? These are the things you have to formulate in your mind. And remember, I'm going to send one ship out, so that means I have 6 goods I can trade for. So I'm limited in how much I can buy, but this is only 2 resources so far. Scotland has horses. Remember, Spain starts the game with no horses? Well, guess who Spain should go for? They should go for Scotland, because they can get their horses that way. And so that's how you can overcome some of your starting limitations. And then the tin is also a really rare one. So the fact that Scotland has that actually makes Scotland a pretty good... that's not a bad one, to be quite honest. And then Ireland has this. Okay, now before I show you the... Well, there's so much more. That was just the information tab. Now you can click on this to actually... You could set up a trade consulate, which means you're going to now trade with those nations. Obviously, you can eventually get an alliance. Some of these are only with great powers, but this is your treaties screen. You have the ability to just send money to people, and that's going to get you relationship improvement. So you have to have an embassy before you can do that. And then I think the embassy... Let's see if I wanted to do that. I can't do that with a minor nation. That's fine. Then the trade policies. This is how you set the subsidies. So I can say I want to do a subsidy somewhere. Now, why is it not letting me? I got to have a trade consulate first. So let's do that now. I want to do a trade consulate in Italy, in Switzerland, and I'm thinking I also want to do Scotland. Let's try to do 3. This is a tall order, folks, that I'm going to successfully do 3, but I think it's $500 each. Yeah, so I'm spending $500 each to do that. Now, because I have so much money, you could just say, hey, let's just do it everywhere. You got to be careful. We're going to stay focused on 3 nations, and that's already being greedy, because there's only 6 total. So I'm trying to get half of them, and that's fine. And remember, this is a turn-based game, so nothing happens until I hit end turn. So I can change my mind, I can do whatever I want. And then there's a little show who's winning. And it's based on total number of provinces. So right now, France has the most. Well, actually, we have the most. But the victory condition is to have 31 old world provinces, not new. So whatever provinces we take in the new world don't count towards our victory. So if I were able to get these 3 minor nations to join me, Would I get to 31? Probably not. I would eventually probably have to go to war with somebody, but that's the whole point. So the control of the old world is how you win. Okay, getting back to things. We're going to put trade consulates on 3 of them. I still can't do this yet because I need the consulate first. But let's finish our thought here. I want to buy tin from Scotland. I want to buy ore. And I want to buy sheep. Right? So I can only buy 3 things, it looks like. I wonder why I'm limited to 3. Does it say? Beacon, a gold wax seals your action. You're limited to 3 bids on any turn. Until the technology changes. That's what it is. So, those are the 3 I want to do. So this one, I'm hoping to get relationship with Scotland. That one with Switzerland, and this one with Italy. But that may not happen. I may end up buying this from France. France may end up selling it to me. The market is the market. And whoever's willing to sell for this price is who I'm going to get it from. And this is where the relationship comes in. So Italy doesn't favor us, but Switzerland does. So Switzerland will very likely sell their ore to us. I want Italy to sell this wool to me, but they may not because they favor someone else, and that someone else is buying the wool. So that's the reason why you got to gain favored status with them. So by setting up the trade consulates, that is going to improve my relationship with them, and it's going to make it so they can trade with me, and hopefully we can, we can get to the art of the deal, right? Last but not least is the technology, and these just straight up cost money to set up. And let me just tell you, I don't remember which one to start with. I can tell you that the expert me knew, oh my gosh, you gotta beeline straight for this technology because these technologies do break the game in a way. But let's just go over them real quick. So this one, allows builders to improve sheep farms to produce 2 wool per turn. So if I'm needing more wool and I only have 2 wool farms in my entire empire, this will allow me to now produce. I still only have 2. But instead of them each producing just 1 wool each, I'm now going to produce 2 wool each, so I will get 4 wool instead of 2. So I'm effectively doubling my wool in that situation. So these are improvements to gathering. Like here you can see with the timber, that's going to give us more hardwood, or even the softwood. The grain, we're already at level 2 grain. So if I do another grain and get the seed drill, I can produce 3 units of grain per turn. That'll allow me to support a larger population. So I hope it's starting to make sense and all the gears in your mind are clicking. It's a fantastic game. I still can't stress that enough. So let's say I want the computer to suggest. That's what he's suggesting. I'm going to shut that off now. But he's suggesting that I set a research goal to get horse artillery, which is actually very good. And the current research projects should be these things. These are in green because they support the horse artillery. So I'm going to cancel these goals. That's actually a very interesting thing. So if I click on Army, this is what I can research now. And these are goals. So what goals do I have, right? So the horse artillery was the goal that they chose. And you can see that's an army goal, but let's say I want an industry goal. I want to be able to grow my town. Or I want to be able to have apprentice workers. I would have assumed that was here, right here, apprentice worker training. So I want that to be a goal. Let's set that. Okay, so the moment I do that, it highlights in green everything that I need. So this is what I have discovered. This is what's researchable. So in industry, nothing's researchable right now. What I have discovered is and these flags show all the countries that have discovered it. So you can have an edge over other countries for a period of time. But all of us know these two things, right? So I'm showing all technologies, and we can just scroll down like this. So what does it take to get apprentice worker training? It doesn't tell us. That's pretty wild. So in order to get that, I need refined sugar production. It's a prerequisite. So basically, if I want apprentice workers, I need this first, is what it's saying. So now if I look at this, it still doesn't show me. To get that... Ah, come on, this worked very nicely and elegantly before. The research goal would always help you to understand what you need. I mean, it was a brilliant idea. Why is it... Here we go. Click on the third medallion. That's this. List all projects as long-term goals. Choose a goal and click on its target icon in the goal slide. Next, click on the middle medallion. Technologies that lead to your goal are listed at the top, highlighted with green. You can now fill as many slots as desired. Alright, I'm going to go back to... apprentice worker. Okay, that's the one I want. It's properly showing me that I need this goal first. And it's saying that at the top, what I need would be here. If I click on this. And it's not working. And I don't understand why, because this used to work brilliantly. It feels like it's a bug of some kind. But let's say I change my goal to that. Now I click on the middle. Again, I'm showing all. Right? So these are specific things I can research now. So if I want refined sugar... You know what? Maybe some of the issue is... But see, like, nothing else is green. It's consumed each turn by apprentice workers. I'm at a total loss, folks. But here's one of the things I do know. I want the merchant unit, so let's research that. It's going to take 10 turns at $100, and that's per turn. I could speed it up, right? It costs me more. So we're going to go ahead and put the merchant companies there. Here we can do embassies to minor nations. So we want to do that one because we want to work on minor nations. Then from a finance perspective, we grab both of the finance ones. There's no industry one. From a gathering perspective, you know the drill there. Army-wise, Navy, we want a large merchant. They have larger cargo capacity, so we can transport more goods. That is one we do want. I mean, yeah, actually, I want to get that one. So we're going to go ahead and do that one. So, None of these are contributing to this goal. And my only theory here is it has to be because we haven't discovered the New World yet. I haven't discovered sugar. So maybe that's the reason. The prerequisite to getting refined sugar is not available as a technology because we haven't discovered sugar yet. I think that's what's happening. So if I go back to this, like the Indiaman carries 25% more cargo than a galleon. So let's say I made that one my goal, right? Now look, the green's working. Oh my gosh, the green is really working. See that? That's how it's supposed to work, folks. So it must be because I'm selecting something that requires New World resources. That's my dilemma. So my apologies there. Like I said, I'm rusty. I knew it worked. Okay. A couple more things. We have our ship. It automatically selects just one of them. So the game is like really smart. They're suggesting to you that you explore with one ship and you leave two ships behind. And it's automatically set up so one ship is in one fleet and the other two are in the other. So now, my largest dilemma is, am I going to go right or left? So the little ship wheel is showing me that I can travel this far. So my ship can move 2 provinces, and then this is unexplored area. So I can explore to the east, or I can... Where am I located again? I can explore 1, 2, and see. I would have to take another turn to go west. So my thoughts is that I'm closer to exploring east. So I'm going to go ahead and do 1, 2, and go to the Sea of Douro. And then that ship is going to explore to the east. These other 2 ships, you can see, are here. I can select 1, 2, or whatever. I can explore to the west if I wanted. And then that limits my my ability to buy goods to just 3. I can only do 3 transport. I mean, right now I only have 3 bid offers out there. So, but remember, a bid offer is different than because once somebody offers something to you, then you can buy like a certain number of units. So I'm going to leave it like that. We're going to explore with just 1 ship right now. And is that ideal? I don't know. That's part of the rusty part. I don't know what the right balance is. Your early game decisions really do make a difference. So now let's talk about the map again. Let's go to Italy, which was one of the ones we wanted to do, right? So Italy has this iron ore here, and then all these mountains, which I can then send my explorer to. So I can start exploring Italy to figure out what other resources does Italy have. And that's part of the reason why I'm producing a second explorer. Because I want one explorer to explore my own resources. And then eventually I want them to explore the New World. Right? Okay. So we got that. And then we're also influencing Scotland. And this is another thing, like, before you finalize your decisions, you want to look. Italy has potential for a lot of ore. Now, of all these spots, assume only a quarter of them is actually going to be actual ore. It is not going to be half. If you do get half, you're a lucky SOB. Now, the mountains, the same way, you know, these hills. And then, of course, this is a potential for tin, right? So right now, Italy doesn't produce tin, but that's because we haven't helped them to discover their tin. So that you're sort of like developing the minor nation. And then when you develop them, you're helping them to trade better with you. So some of your strategy is, I picked Italy because of proximity. I picked the other 2 because one of them already favors me, and then the other one was right next to it and seemed to, was the only one that sold tin, right? But that could be very deceptive, because even though that one sells tin, that might be the only tin production in the entire list of options. So here's what I mean. Italy could become a major producer of tin if some of these turn into fruitful. Now, again, my memory's rusty, But it is possible that none of these produce tin. I mean, I told you to assume 25%, but with the swamp, I think it's even a lower percentage. But they do have a lot, right? So there's a good chance that at least one of them does. All right, and like I said, it looks like Italy would be a great producer of ore or coal. So this is something you want to look for. Now, this is one that we ignored. So, should we be ignoring them? This looks like Denmark. Denmark produces a lot of food. So do we. So we're not concerned about their food production. They have great mountain ranges. So there's a big opportunity for them to be more lucrative than Italy even. Very small amount of possible tin. Hardwood barely exists. Only one. Okay? So in terms of resources though, very strong chance of coal and ore from them. Okay, going back to Italy, 0 hardwood. Well, 1 hardwood. This one. This is inside it. This is my territory. So Italy is just as bad in the hardwood front. Well, actually, they got 1. So that's funny, because we're trying to buy hardwood. Well, actually, we're trying to buy the sheep from them, but they produce 1 hardwood, and they only have 2 in their entire existence. Coming down here, Scotland, we picked them for their tin, which you can see they have 1 here. This one's already an empty. Well, it doesn't look empty because it looks like I can explore it, but they have 1 tin. But my gosh, it's a treasure trove for hardwood. So Scotland is a really good one. Hardwood is something you really need. You need all the resources, don't get me wrong. But right now, this is a really good one for the hardwood. So I actually like my choice of choosing them. And then I like the choice of Italy because it looks like they'll at least have a decent amount of coal and ore, which we also need. Although the Denmark looks very lucrative. And then, don't be deceived, this is France's border, right? So this is all France here. So these are the only 2 mountains in Scotland. There's 3. 1, 2, 3. So Scotland's going to have a very low chance of giving you the ore, but you would pick Scotland for this alone. This is a wonderful, wonderful, minor nation to have. Now we go over to Switzerland, which initially favors us, and now we're realizing maybe we don't need Scotland. And here's why. Look, I got just as much wood over here. So I don't necessarily need wood from both. And then it's already producing ore. In fact, it has 2 production of ore already. So it's already producing a lot of ore, and there's a chance of it getting even more. So between the 2, Switzerland is clearly the favorite over Scotland, and it has a potential to possibly even get some tin. Okay, so knowing what we know, I am trying to get 3 minor nations to join me. If I lose Scotland, no harm. I want the other 2 higher priority. That's what's going on in my head, right? The Denmark would be nice because I really do think this is a fantastic mountain range. So, oh no, I'm sorry. This is us. That's I'm admiring my own mountain range. This is a fantastic mountain range, but I'm fairly confident that I might actually be able to produce a lot of my own resources here. I hope. Fingers crossed. And that's what I love about this game. The exploration is off the charts. And then we got one more minor nation down here, Ireland. Again, very strong chance for ore. A very high amount, of timber, and they're already producing 2 timber. So, and then they even have tundra, so they could possibly have fur. Which, although it says barren tundra, because, look, I can't explore here, so no fur. Fur is only in the New World. So this is just wasted land. But Ireland looks like an awesome trade partner, and then Germany, of course, being the last one. And they have a whole bunch of wood, which is excellent. They have a good chance for ore. And look, they're producing 3 wood right now. And some sheep. Germany is... There's no complaints about Germany. All the minor nations are good in one way or another. It's just like you're picking and choosing, okay, what do I need for my exploitation? And so I'm going to go for the 3, with Scotland being the lower of the 3 in terms of, like, I love my other 2 kids more. Okay, so I got my explorer. First thing I'm going to do is explore my own area. So we want to explore closest to the town first, because we have to produce roads to any resources that we're going to harvest. And if I explore a tin down here, that's great to know that I have tin, but it's going to take me a long time to get that connected to my capital. I do have province capitals here, and eventually if I build a port, I can just connect to here, right? I can build a road to this province capital, and as long as I have a port, I can send it back. But remember, ports use your ships. They're not as good as having a road that goes all the way back to your capital. Okay? Alright, first things first, let's just explore close to us. So that'll take the whole turn. And it only takes 1 turn, no matter what type of resource. So it's 1 turn per location. So that's why you want to build more than 1 explorer, so you can explore more than 1 thing at a time. And then here, I am choosing to build a road. It's going to cost me 1 wood and 1 iron. And I got to be careful, because I only have so much of each. So I have 8 iron and 5 wood. And I can produce wood if I spend timber, and I need ore to produce iron. You see, it all comes together. So that's why I need timber and iron. Or and ore, I mean. So, do I want to start building a road without knowing what I'm connecting it to? The answer is yes, because I know I need a horse. So I'm going to build a road this way, or should I build it this way? And then, so if I do it this way, I'm connecting to the horse sooner. Or if I build this way, then I'm opening the door that there possibly is tin, and I'm also building a pathway to the resources down here. Or I can just build this way, connect to the horse as quickly as possible, and then if I need to build down this way, I just do that later. At some point, you want lots of roads, right? But you just got to be efficient. And so which one's the preferred? Honestly, I don't know the answer, but we're going to go ahead and go this way. Let's just go direct route, because I'm assuming until I'm producing the resources I need to build more roads, I'm actually cutting in. I have a deficit. I'm deficit spending. Okay, and then lastly, my builder. Now, like I said, it doesn't cost anything to build, but we're going to go ahead and build up the horses, because that's where I'm building my road to. So that way we can start getting horses going. And even if I don't need horses, I can sell them, right? Because we can start selling resources in the open market. Okay, these 2 ships, they're asking me what to do. I'm telling them no orders this turn. And I thought I could... Here we go. I could tell them to defend, which just keeps them there. And then, of course, that's giving me 6 for trade. And then you'll see that 3 are now Navy, because I sent those 3 off to sail. So, I know I'm an hour and 13 minutes in, but the 90% of the game was just explained right now. The rest of it is just playing it. And you know, getting to the bottom of things and discovering and going forth. And so let's go ahead and hit end turn for the first time. And boom. Germany is offering to buy us 2 units of wool at 100 each. So, I could buy just 1, and it improves my relationship with Germany. So I have no consulate, thus trade serves no diplomatic purpose. So, if I buy 1, I'm buying it because I need it. Now, the problem is, I don't know if anybody else is going to offer me wool. It's showing me that Germany's offering me. I don't know if anybody else is. So I have to say yes or no right now. And you can see I have 6. So I'm going to buy 1. I'm going to say yes. Now, Ireland's offering 1. So what were the 3 I was doing? It was Italy, Scotland, and Switzerland. So I'm going to go ahead and buy 1 from Ireland. There we go, Italy. We do have a consulate. So see, it tells you. And it says each trade improves our relationship with them. So yes, for sure, Italy. Scotland's offering tin, so we have a consulate. Yes. Switzerland's offering 2 units of ore. I have a consulate, and I need 2 units of ore. And that's my final 2, so I'm going to say yes. So I bought everything I could, right? The Ireland and Germany purchase didn't help. But see, look, my relationship improved. Relationship improved. You see that? Oh, and then Italy was offering to sell us iron. We need to understand that, because Italy was going to sell us... We could have improved our relationship again. That cost us 600 bucks, and our deals are done. And so this is your summary. We established trade consulates in the 3 minor nations. We deployed a new civilian, an explorer, and in news from around the world, you could see everybody's going after Switzerland. Every dang one. Look at that. They're going after nobody else. Okay, and we discovered no tin. So I'm going to go ahead and explore the next tin spot. We have another explorer, so now I'm going to go to Italy. Explore there. And I don't think I can build a road here while he's building. So then I think I'm going to wait. I don't want to spend resources I don't have. Or I could just assume, hey, I need a road to connect to these forests, so... Oh, and see, it costs you a turn to move. Yeah, we'll do that. And then we explored. And see, we can explore again. We're going to do that. And then we look at our stuff. It'll keep producing this for as long as I tell them. Now, I did get 2 more of these guys, and it automatically started to produce wood, because it knows I need wood. I also need 1 of these. So I'm back up to 3 paper, so I could stop that and say I want to start doing that. And then remember, I bought an explorer, and I could say I want to build another builder, which I think my builder and my engineer, I don't know if I need another builder. If anything, I need another explorer, or I need a merchant when one of those comes available. But I'm actually going to make another explorer. And because knowledge is power, folks. I don't have enough of these to build another guy, so we're not doing that. And at some point, it would be nice to build something here. Now, this guy's not available because I'm using all my labor. And then, of course, I don't have enough wood because I've been spending wood building my roads. We can go here. We're still bidding for those 3 things. You can see some of the prices are adjusting. The economy on this is better than some modern games. So prices are going up and down based on what's being bought and sold. So right now, this is becoming worth more and more because people are consuming them. And same with well, that actually got cheaper. So apparently there's more production of horses. And you can see some of these resources are getting cheaper. Okay, so moving on. The diplomacy thing. Here you can see I have my 3 consulates. And now I want to put well, here, this is the way you do it. Switzerland, best relationship is with us. And you're looking for trade partner more. Scotland, trade partner. Trade partner. Switzerland has a consulate with everybody though. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a 5% subsidy on Switzerland. I'm not going to worry about the other ones yet. And if you look at Germany, like, they don't have a top trade partner. And it's a function of relationship and subsidies, like it says. So if I look at, where's... So, this is the relationship key. These are the major nations, but if you look here at Italy, Scotland, and Switzerland, they're less yellow. So yellow is neutral, right? France is neutral with us. These are less yellow. That means that they are moving along in this direction. If they were to get more orange, of course, they're moving in that direction. So my relationship with them improved, and you can see the green, right? They like each other, the small nations do, and they like me slightly more than they like all the other ones. You see, you notice how that works. So that's what you're doing. So every turn, you're trading with them to improve your relationship. Extremely important. And then, and actually, by clicking on Switzerland, you can see it's like a little horse race. We're slightly ahead of everybody else. And if I look at Germany, even though I traded with Germany, my relationship didn't improve because I didn't put a consulate with Germany. Alright, I'm hoping that makes sense. And let's move on. And we're going to end turn again. Italy offering 1 unit of wool. I'm going to accept. It even tells us favorite trade partner. Ireland, I am going to say no. And I could say I want no more offers of wool, so that'll skip everybody else. But I am, like, if one of the other nations, I'm going to say no to Germany. And then Scotland is offering tin, so I'm going to say yes. Italy is offering ore, so I'm going to say yes. And guess who I lost? I didn't get Switzerland. There was no Switzerland in the mix. So I got another explorer. So we're most favored with Italy and Scotland. But Switzerland is favoring Spain. And you can see they have a consulate. Spain does with Switzerland. And then if we get into, I have a 5%. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change it to a 25%. That's how you steal it back. And we'll see if we can get it back from Spain. So early game, that's what we're trying to do. And then, of course, we're going to continue to explore. And then we're exploring Italy here. And then with our other guy, I can start exploring the other minor nations, like Switzerland and Scotland. But I want to explore my own at the moment, so we're going to explore those hills. Okay, and then this guy. Oh, I see. Sure. I'm going to build a road going to Stockholm. And this one finished. So that means we now have horses in our network. See that? Okay, so what else do I want to build up? Well, remember, I can build this up. I can start building up these. And then with this guy, I'm going to connect the road to eventually get these. I could... I could build a port here, like I said, and then I don't have to have a road that goes all the way across the country. What's the right call? I don't know what the right call is. The food is not an issue at the moment, but I eventually want this guy to build everywhere, develop everything. It's more of a priority thing. So let's develop the wood. And then here, I'm still trying to discover the new world. I'm still bidding for those 3 things. End turn. We're gonna buy from Italy again. I'm not gonna buy. See, Germany I might want to switch from Switzerland to Germany, because Germany keeps offering stuff and nobody's buying from them. There's no reason not to. In fact, let's consider that. Especially if my subsidies don't work. Ireland is also offering all the time, and maybe we just want to improve our relationships with them. Scotland. There we go. We got Switzerland, but we're going to have to pay extra money because of our subsidy. And then Italy again. And then boom. So we were able to get Switzerland back. And then Holland just went after Germany. So we were thinking of doing the same thing. And Holland is doing it. So Germany, like we said, was down here. Yeah, I mean, they look excellent. There's nothing wrong with Germany as a trade partner. Why am I being so aggressive with Switzerland? Well, because they were next to Scotland. I mean, in a long-term mindset, having territory that's connected to each other is more beneficial from a defense perspective. But beyond that, I mean, we could go for Ireland. They're offering... Oh, that's not Ireland. Which one's Ireland? Down here, isn't it? Yeah, Ireland's got all kinds of great resources. So, we are burning through our money because we're buying goods. So you got to bear in mind that the money's not going to last forever. I do need wood really bad. When I'm making wood, I'm just spending one every time I build a road. And then now I have cloth again. So let's build another person. Now, usually you need to build 2 people, right? Because you need 2 labor. So you could wait. We could also choose to... I need 4 wood and 1 person. So we could build that 1 person, save up our wood, and get another ship out. It's always possible. Right now we want to get more labor. That's really what we're trying to do. Obviously we need more resources. With more labor we could spend more resources. It's all... The synergies are so awesome. Now we come back to this, and again, looking at relationship, Switzerland, we're still... I mean, we're back in the seat, but it's only because of our massive subsidy. We're running away with Scotland and Italy. Germany, Holland just went after Germany. So we could go after Ireland, because they're offering to sell us stuff too. It's a matter of money right now. That's the issue. And developing 3 small nations is not going to be cheap. Adding a 4th one, I'm only considering doing it because nobody else is going after them. The fact that everybody's going after Switzerland, in some ways, you could strategically decide, oh, let them have it, and then, there's other women on the cheerleading squad here, so, go after them instead. So I don't know if it's smart of me to gung-ho after Switzerland like I am, but for now, we're committed. We're doing it now, so we might as well. Okay. So, do I want to set up a trade consulate? Remember, it's $500 more. I can set one up in Ireland. And then now, I am wooing 4 countries. Man, oh man. You do run out of money, folks. That's why... That's 3 provinces. That's 5. I know why everybody's going after him, because it's 6 provinces. Remember, you win the game by having the most provinces. See, that one's only 4. Although that one's 5. That one's only 3. So these smaller ones, sometimes you can get away with them because since they're less provinces, the AI won't go after them because, more provinces is how you win. We'll get the relationship with Ireland going. We'll buy one thing from them every turn. Subsidy-wise, I don't need to... what I could do with Switzerland is I could reduce it to 10%. Now that I established trading partner, maybe, okay, let's get a little more reasonable here with our trading. And then, of course, when you boycott somebody, that you do for different reasons. Like, what I could do is set up a trade consulate with everybody, and then, like, boycott Germany, so that way they don't show up on my trade list anymore. I'd have to do some research on when you would want to do this, or even that. Oh, I know why. If Germany is clearly a lapdog to France, right, you can boycott them, because then, when we're selling goods, Germany could buy from us. So by boycotting, we're making it so they can't buy anything from us or from our colonies. That's what these mean. Okay, it's coming back to me. It's coming back to me. All right. You don't need to do this stuff early game. This is more desperation, and it does give you significant bumps in your relationship, but this is... You don't need to do this, and you're not making that much money anyways. In fact, we're not making any money at all. We're just spending it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit end turn. Italy by 1. Ireland by 1. Germany. Gosh darn it. I'm going to say no. Scotland, yes. Italy, yes. I lost Switzerland again. The great power of Portugal has taken over. So, how much do I want to battle for this Switzerland? They are a lot of provinces. That's the reason why people are doing it. Germany is willing to be my partner. Still. Ireland was willing to be my partner. So you can see everybody's moving up with Switzerland. Holland took some of Germany. In order to keep this going, I would have to go to 25% subsidy. So I think it's going to cost me another $500, but I'm going to go ahead and get one going with Germany, and we're going to maybe make the switch. The thing is I need wood, and I think they were the only ones giving me wood, weren't they? No, they're giving me ore. I was getting an ore, but it's just one from Italy. Germany's not offering me any ore. See, that's the reason why I need them. Right now I'm getting ore from Italy, that's it. And you can see, look, I'm discovering nothing. I just discovered a coal. So I finished developing this wood. Now, I have to purchase this. And then I can develop the coal. Or I have to purchase the ability to... Here, let me think about this. I need the ability to access Italy. Yeah, I think I need a merchant person. Because then I go to Italy, I purchase that particular resource, then, or I purchase the ability to develop that resource. I send my developer there, I develop it, and then that coal is now available for me to. I don't know if it's for trading in the open market or if it's just for me. Like that part, I'm not clear on, but that's the plan, right? Is you're trying to find resources in these minor nations, and then develop those minor nations, and of course, the more you develop them, the more they like you. And I am losing money. Now, if I sell goods, I'm pretty certain that I don't have to use my navy to sell goods. So, for example, I am now producing horses. So I'm going to offer to sell some horses. I'm producing one a turn, so I'll offer one a turn. The problem is the price is going down and down. It's getting cheaper and cheaper. Now, if I'm willing to sell one of these things that I'm producing, like I'm producing one of these a turn, the price is actually really good. And I could choose to buy one of these, but then I'm very likely going to be buying from one of the major powers. Alright, my developer. What's he going to do next? Let's just get another wood going. And we just now see the new world here, right? So where do I want to discover the new world? I can either go along the top. I'm going to go ahead and let's go in here. And again, our technologies. You can see it's going to take 10 turns at $100. We can get it down to 2 turns. If I'm spending $600 a turn. We'll leave it at 1. And this one's only 6. This one's 7 turns away. I don't know why that one's 1 turn longer, but that's okay. And then you can see nobody else has discovered anything yet. And because we have initial money, I do remember in my cobwebs sometimes doing this. But it's because I'm gunning for a particular thing. I would never do this like across the board. It's because I know I want to bum rush something. Like maybe the merchant unit is what I'm thinking. But anyways, I am going to need paper for that merchant unit, so when we get to our production here, so we don't have enough food for new recruits. Because right now, we're at 6, but we're going to go to 8. Well, 6, 9, 12, right? And I'm producing exactly 12 right now. So by making 2 guys, I'm going over my my food limit. But I want to build another ship, possibly. But we're also going to be building a farm soon. So that's part of the reason why I'm building my roads. And you need more people. You need more production. You gotta push. You gotta push your people to do more. Look, I'm still extremely rusty, but all the vibes are coming back. This is 1997, so we are 20 years, 30 years minus 2. We're 28 years after this game was made, and I'm feeling all the love. I love this game. There's nothing about this game that is not to be loved, other than the user interface and the graphics. But to be quite honest, the graphics don't necessarily need to be better. It's just some of the creature comforts of a user interface. Fantastic game. There's nothing like it. And I pray and I hope that someday something will be like it. Europa Universalis is the closest I've ever found, and it's not even remotely the same as this. Because this focuses on a very specific time, whereas Europa is more broad in scale. Not to say that it's not a great game, because it is. If I were to rate my top 5 games, Civilization is somewhere in the top 5. I would probably put it at 5 now. This is number 1 or number 2. Might and Magic, somewhere in there. And then Europa Universalis, I think, is actually number 1. I would maybe put this as a number 2. But again, it's why argue over your multiple wives? They're all lovely in their own way. So these are all near the top. And, you know, there's other RPGs that are fantastic, like Baldur's Gate 3 might deserve a spot up there. But yeah, so many great memories of this game. Anyways, I have to decide, am I fighting for Switzerland or not? And I think the answer is, well, my answer is yes, because I want the ore. But I'm going to say no. We're not going to fight for it. And let's go ahead. And we're also burning through our money. Italy, yes. Ireland. Yes. Germany, yes. Scotland, yes. Look at that. Switzerland is back. Italy. And once you use up all 6 of your trade, even if there were more offers, it would tell you. But anyways, our relationship improved with everybody. And yeah, we even got Germany in the mix. Immigration. We got 2 peasants. We got our trade with Germany. And look at this. We discovered sugarcane, cotton, and the capital of the Mayas. Alright, so we're still exploring, right? Trying to find resources. And I am producing the horse, so I don't need my road to actually go to the horse. I just need it to go here. So this road is connected to all 3 of these. Or 2 of these, really, because this is connected here. That's good to know. So this road, where it currently is already connected to that. So I could go this way. Yes, let's do that. And here you can see now, if we want to bombard, right, that's asking us to... I think it's asking us to invade the area, because this area is controlled by... Here, let's bring this up. You can see the Maya are now showing up. And can we trade with the Maya? I think we can. So I can create a trade consulate with the Maya, like so. You know, do I want to? They don't have any exports, and I don't think I have their... Oh, here we go. There's their capital. They have sugar and tobacco, or cotton. And then I'm going to go ahead and let's go around the north. So we're just going to explore the whole continent, right? We're going to be a little bit of Lewis and Clark going on here. So now you can see I can buy these. And if I do, I have to give up something. And this is where it gets interesting, because I would like to buy from them, because that would let me peacefully... you could also just send an army and conquer them. With a level 1 set of armies, that might be a little difficult. The Indians aren't that, you know, backwards. I'm not using my tin. I'm only doing this for the relationship with Scotland. So I could turn that off and then try to buy cotton or sugar. And I think, what was it? It was sugar that I needed for my apprentice guys. But I'm going to stay where we are. We're not going to worry about the Indians too much. It's the old world that you really got to worry about relationship with. The new world, I guarantee you that the old world people are going to just conquer the Indians. They're not going to do diplomacy. You do get breakthroughs sometimes, which will cause, one technology to be further along than the others. I thought the events told you that, but, anyways. That's right, I want to do something here. I have a deficit of food. Here you can see I'm producing 16. Or no, that's my demand. I need 8. That's what it's trying to show me. So I'm producing 10. I need 8. So I have a surplus of 2. And here I have a deficit of 4. So I have an overall deficit of 2. So this is decreasing. And ultimately... Oh, look at this. They're producing paper automatically. I do need paper. I also need wood. I think just 1 paper a turn is fine. I'm going to produce 2 wood. We're burning through our timber. We're spending 6 of it. And we're only buying maybe 1 if we're lucky. But that's what we're going to have to do for now. And what was it that... I'm not even buying timber. There's something I realized I needed to do, and now I don't remember. 1 second. Oh, I wanted to check. So if we show all of our goals, right? And if I change my goal to... Because remember, I did the large merchant Indiaman, right? And it showed us the green. But let's say I wanted my goal to be the apprentice guy again. Right? And I do this. Boom. Sugar refining is now green. It didn't appear as a possible technology until we discovered the New World. That's what the issue was. Alright. Italy, yes. Ireland, yes. Germany, yes. Scotland, Italy, no Switzerland. We're running precariously low in money, and no one's buying my horses. So we discovered furs and the Taino. And we finally discovered our first ore. Right, so remember we were short on food, so I'm going to do this. And that'll produce another food for us. And then here you can see there's the furs. All of this is explorable. What am I producing that I can sell? Nothing really. I mean, I could start selling some fabric. We're gonna offer 1. We make 1 a turn. See, we're running out of wood. So I'll just make paper with the last one that I can make. Yeah. We're gonna start getting some wood soon, though. And if you look here, as soon as this road finishes, we're gonna connect the 2 wood. This wood here and this one here. And that reminds me, I want to... So roads can be built in any terrain. Ports can be built in any terrain except hills and mountains. Must be built on a river or adjacent to an ocean. Forts are only built in a town or capital city. It doesn't tell you what they do, though. Give me a second. How to invade from the sea. We are going to have to figure that out again. Checklist for overseas development. Send an explorer a VOD. Establish an enemy. Embassy. Once you learn merchant companies, build a merchant. Send the merchant to purchase the land. To protect the tribe from extinction, because the other people will just take them over. You gotta purchase land in the capital city first. Deploy a builder. Kick the land to a port using an engineer. Bid on the trade screen for the resources you've developed. Or gain money when other great powers buy those products. If you develop the riches, no trade bid will be required. Your ships assigned will automatically get them. Yep. Okay, that makes sense. And right here. Yeah, what a great game. Alright, running out of money. I need to ultimately be producing something that I can sell. I have 2 idle workers. So what they did is somebody automatically started building bronze here. Yeah, bronze. Which is okay. I'm going to go ahead and build another fabric, just because I don't want idle workers. And then, actually, we can offer to sell some bronze, too. And you know what? We could still offer to sell the horses, even though no one's buying at the moment. Alright, 1 wool. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 3 bags full. Oh, right here. Show current market. So there you go. You could see who's selling. And here, we're offering, and Italy's buying. And the Taino are willing to buy. And here, no one's willing to buy. Very interesting. I totally didn't realize I could do that. How do I get out of the screen? There we go. Ireland. Yes. Oh, we are using shipping to transport our goods. So I'm going to say yes to Ireland. Germany. I have to say no. Scotland, yes. And Italy, yes. So we sold a bronze for 246 and 260, and we actually made a profit of 101. So it's just the bleeding, right? We were bleeding about $400 or $500 a round. So we're discovering more and more things. We got ourselves another ore. Now I can start to go here. And it's like, okay, who do I... these guys are as good as any, right? So we're going to start exploring the new world. Let's verify that we are now getting 2 wood. Bam. So now, with the 2 wood coming in, we'll be able to keep at least 1 production going. I just need 1 more paper. It doesn't help me to know what the cost is, but assuming it's like everything else, it's 3. And here's the next question. Where do I want to go next? If I build another road here, I can build 2 more wood. So then I'd be collecting 4 wood. I also want to start connecting to these. Let's go for the wood first, because that's an easy grab, right? So I'm going to go ahead and do 1 more there. Italy, yes. Ireland, yes. Germany, no. Scotland, Italy again. So what I could do is start buying the wool from Germany, since I'm buying the ore from Italy, and then I can keep the 3 relationships going. Yeah, England's going after Germany now. Alright, so this is developed. So now we have 15. So I need 16. I am producing 11 plus 4 is 15. So I'm still 1 food short. So what I can do then is, see, this road here is connected to this. I can develop that, but I'm going to build a road right through it. So what I'll do is I'll develop this one. Then when the road gets built, I'll have enough food again. Keep exploring. I would ultimately like to build another ship. So I'm going to say no to Italy, yes to Ireland. Oh, I lost Germany. Now Switzerland's back. Oh, I discovered some technology. Okay. We're running out of food. I still have 57 of these. So we're going to be okay, but we are running out of food. To build this guy does cost the 3, which I will do. We're running out of copper, which makes sense. We're just running out of everything. Like, they have all kinds of goods. They're looking good. They are definitely looking good. Our issue is we gotta figure out how to make some money. And you gotta make things to make money. We have our merchant, but buying these territories is not gonna be cheap. They're gonna be in the thousands. Or at least 500. So it's... Yeah, we're gonna definitely need money, and then we research 3 things. So, that's what I wanted to check. So now we figured out how to build large merchants, right? So, if I had 6 wood, we could build one of these, and then what it does is it has a cargo of 4. Whereas this only has a cargo of 3, so it's not that much better. At least the at the current technology, it's not. This one only requires 4 wood. So right now, economically, the carracks are the better purchase. I clearly need wood, and I have my paper now, so we really need to switch. So we can start producing wood. Because I've been building roads, I'm out. So I've basically spent everything I have. I can stop buying from the minor nations. For the most part, that works. I don't think I'm producing enough. I'm not producing any sheep. So buying the 2 sheep is helping me to get the fabric that I'm using to sell. Yeah, I'm in a pickle. I mean, I can definitely go a few rounds where I don't buy anything. It's like Germany still has Holland as a good relationship. That's the thing. You can't go after 4 out of 6. It's just it's too expensive. But you do, if you focus, like I said, on 2 or 3, it's doable. I'm getting a little too greedy, but and this is going to cost more money again. So sometimes you gotta like put this on a halt as well. So I can do that one because I want to get apprentice workers. I would like to get some sugar going. Let's look. So we have deficit spending. It costs $200 though. So this would allow us, of course, to produce... We can produce it from cotton, which right now we only produce it from wool. But you know what? Oh, actually, look at this. You can see everybody's getting their own advantage, right? So some people went after fur gathering. The AI did. If I do improved livestock, I would produce 3 units of meat per turn. And 3 units of grain per turn. That lets me at least feed my people, but I don't know. You know what? Let's do this one. Because right now we are producing some timber, and I want to produce 2 units per turn from each one. And that, in turn, will let me build things that I can sell. Or at least get wood and paper and everything else going. So let's feed where our strengths are. And that's part of what you gotta evaluate your country, right? I'm not producing any wool, so let's not improve our wool gathering. I am producing timber, though. And I am going to be producing ore soon. I don't think there's anything that improves our ore gathering. What else can I improve? I could improve the livestock. I mean, it seems a little... Yeah, right now we're okay. And actually, we probably want to start buying the sugar. Or buy a tobacco, right? Hats are made from fur. Let's do cigar production. You know what? I bet you need... It's consumed by journeyman workers. Look at this. I'm wondering if this requires you to have better than peasants. Like, we could research how to make tobacco. Hold on. You know what? It's not... So this just says 2 labor. Yeah. Let's do this. We're gonna figure out how to make cigars. And then what I need to start doing is buying tobacco. I don't need tin. Sorry, Scotland. So we're gonna try to buy some tobacco, though. And do I have trade with these guys? And they do produce tobacco. Yes. So I got a relationship with them. I can get tobacco, cotton, and sugarcane from them. So let's capitalize on that, right? With the tobacco. Running out of money. But we got what we wanted. Oh, right here. See, I don't have the right kind of food. So I'm making them eat meat. I knew there was a penalty. So 2 of my people are, you know, because I don't have a right balance of food. So I need more grain. Which means I need to improve my... I'm going to say yes. Let's get the grain production. Yep, we found some coal. Found some coal again. Alright, so let's say I wanted to buy... Ooh, that's right, you need an embassy with them. So this guy was a little premature. Can I buy from the natives, though? Nope. I can now do an embassy, though. Ooh. Yeah, it's $1,000 to do an embassy. But see, I build the embassy, and then I can buy the tobacco from them, so then you don't have to buy it every round. Right? That's the idea. If I do an embassy with Italy, same deal. tobacco is not something I can do right away. Yeah, I'm out of money. I'm gonna have to sleep him for a while. And then the building the road thing, I do need this really bad. Let's go for it. So I'm producing enough food, but I need the grain. Oh, look at this. Oh, you need lumber to do development. I did not realize that. I guess we're doing nothing with him. I am definitely playing an inefficient game here. Down to 174. The iron ore is getting expensive. Spices are straight up converted to cash. See, like we got even more people not able to work. So it says 4 wrong food. Yeah, because I need grain. They're just eating beef. I am certainly in a pickle. Ideally, you never want to stop buying. And clearly I'm not managing my economy properly to accomplish that. But you can see I'm clearly ahead in Scotland, Ireland, Italy. No one else is contending. Germany's the only one I even have competition with, and I'm actually losing the German battle. Obviously, I'm improving that one. Now, when you're exploring the new world, see, look, somebody else is exploring. You want to go where you're going to also explore for resources. Like, I could always go here, for example, but all that's going to do is reveal the fog of war, but it's not going to help progress. So, like, I've already explored 3 desert spaces. So here I'm going to explore in a mountain space, and it's also going to reveal territory. And we are building 1 a turn. And I think what I'm going to do is we're going to make him wait and use our developer. Let's get another wood going. Keep our ship exploring. Say yes, yes. Because I'm low on money? No. No. There we go. We just got 200 bucks. I am literally at 200 bucks. Still have 46 people. Still producing our 1 wood a turn. I'm losing money every turn doing this. This here, because somebody else knows it, it does reduce the price, potentially, for researching it. Unfortunately, I need all 3 of these. Now, when you're not sure where to go, you can just click. It takes you to the... Okay, so it takes multiple turns to develop. So I could build a road in between. I will do so. The worst thing is just not panning out. There we go, we got 284. But see, we're still going down because we're spending money on our research. That's what we want to see. Look at all the ore we're finding. And you see we're getting surplus of wood, so that'll start growing. It'll allow us to eventually build more wood this way. It's coming back to me. The efficiency part is not there, but it's definitely coming back. And yeah, we're struggling. We could go a little bit in deficit. How much can we go in deficit? I don't know. And I'm sure it's written in the rules somewhere, but your guess is as good as mine which section it's in. So if I stop buying wool, then I won't be able to produce fabric, but I'm going to go ahead and we're rejecting everything. And there it is. Look, they just invaded the Mayas, who we have a relationship with. So they invaded with one Aqua Bazir a night, and I already took over territory. No good. No good. So what we could do is the same. We need tobacco. There's tobacco there. So I can invade this area, take this province. But what they did is they took something from them. We don't have it discovered yet, what they took. Which really sucks. They already took something. But what that tells me, though, is we might have a strong enough army that we could take something. So we could try it. There's a tobacco right here. So why don't we, we'll try to take Tennessee here. That is what I'm doing, right? Send in the troops. But do I have any troops? How does this work? We're gonna find out. Reject, 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 reject. Just got 500 bucks, but we're needing it for the technology. Got 4 of these going. So now I can get another wood. Okay, that whole sending in the troops thing isn't working. So how do I see my armies? Oh, you know what? Oh no, I do have armies. It told me I do. Here. I have an army of 3. So where is that army? Site for later. On the turn the landing site is set, land forces can be moved on any subsequent turns as long as you maintain the landing site by keeping ships in that sea zone. Okay, that's perfect, but how do I move my forces now? Make sure you have a selected fleet in the sea zone on the coastline. Somewhere in your empire in a province that has a port. Only troops in ports will be able to invade your capital. Select the land forces that you want to use. It should be in the toolbar. One regiment for every cargo hold they possess. Okay, where's my forces and where's the toolbar? I don't get it. Or is it that I don't have forces? Like, is the 3 armies just garrison? Maybe I need to produce troops. But it told me I have 3 armies. But what 3 armies do I have? Oh, great questions. Because look, this is a particular type of army, right? I should see a list of these somewhere. I am seeing that I have an army of 3, but that doesn't say what type of army. I am so confused. There we go. I needed to click on the town. So let's say I wanted to do this. Can I then click on those and then... There we go. Ah, see, now they have 4. I have a regular pikeman, aqua viziers. So then there's a range, right? So this is, the green is where he could go. I'm going to end my turn. Now, the enemy is very smart. The red means I will get attacked. But see, this guy has a range that he can attack. They will not go within that range. And what they did is they made it so they can now attack me next turn. See, we're gonna lose. I'm not winning this battle. Right, that was a really stupid move. I think there was an autosave. So let's try it. Oops. Yeah, my autosave. I should have saved it before I tested it. But anyways, that was a miserable blunder. But I'm gonna have to end it here. It is time to hit the hay, and you get the gist. So the challenge is paying for the technology, improving your relationship. All of it costs money, and you start the game with 10 grand. And I hope you could see that. First of all, we need to reduce the number of minor nations to a smaller number. That's the first thing. Then we're not spending so much money. Secondly, a more focused research, right? I'm realizing, you know what? Now that I've got 4 wood going, I have some pretty decent production that I can do with the 4 timber, right? I can make some decent wood. The food situation, also a challenge. So I need to develop and get that going. Now, right now I'm trying to get my industry going at the same time, and so it's been a bit problematic. This thing is just sitting idle. I didn't need to bum rush that. So maybe some mistakes were made. But anyways, I'm definitely going to try again, but I gotta quit for the night. Thanks for watching. As always, stay awesome.